Can I serve the men that are following this channel in any way? This is the question I'm going to answer today, or at least attempt to answer. Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. So where do I come from with this topic today? I was checking out a few days ago, and then I repeated today, my analytics. I was looking at my audience, and I have, in the last 28 days, a lot of views from men, almost 60%, and a lot of them from the United States. So I was wondering, okay, can I help men there in any way with my work? First of all, I don't work intentionally with men. So I do work with some men that reach me if the topic that they're seeking support in is a match with what I can do. But most of the stuff that men need assistance with when it comes to sexuality is not stuff that I can help them with. So here are the topics that I just can't be of help with. Some of the men that reach out to me have, let's say, troubleshooting with their genitalia, premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, doubts about their size. Some of the stuff is, first of all, a medical condition. And I usually send them or encourage them to seek medical assistance on that one because I'm not medically trained. And then, let's say if there's not a medical issue there, but a psychological one, I usually recommend to them that they work with a man. Because I haven't lived in a man's body, I don't have the embodied experience, so I don't know the cues the body gives when stuff not working so well. And also what it takes for them to get back to functionality, performance, outstanding performances. So as a woman, because I'm a woman, first of all, obviously, I don't have the embodied experience. So I could only talk as a coach with a man seeking help with that issue. I could only talk from books and from my understanding of what the embodied experience of a man is. But I don't think that qualifies me to work with men. So I usually, even if they don't have a medical issue, I usually encourage them to seek work with a man. And by the way, and when it comes to the size, when there are two approaches to this one. One, there was a man, he's from somewhere in Europe, a few years back in 2018. He wrote to me and he said, look, I'm a man who has a micro penis, and I don't see a lot of information that is helpful out there for men. Here's some of the stuff that I wished somebody would say. So he gave me a list. I looked at that, and he then said, okay, could you do a video about this? I said, let me think it over. Then I added some stuff from my training, some of the intellectual stuff that I knew, and I made that into a video. There's a video that is called Small Penis for Guys. I'm going to put it here on screen and link it under this video. That is one way I was able to help, and I did help. But a lot of the stuff that I get from men, also whether on comments on YouTube here a lot, or via email, hey, I notice you're a sex coach. I want to ask you this. Is the size, then I get a number in inches, considered small? When I get an email like that, first of all, I answer politely and I say, hey, thank you for reaching out to me. I don't want to get into this discussion because it's not just about the length of an erect penis. There's also about the girth, but there's also about technique. There's also about the woman's size, because you're talking about size is always relative to what? To a woman's vagina. And there are women who are also very big, average, small, extra small. That does happen also with women. It's not just with men. So whether you are big, extra big, or small, or average, or any other size, is an asset if the person you're with is the same as you are, or a problem if they're in a different category. That's when you start to have, and people with large genitalia can have issues here. Everybody can have issues here. Let me tell you. And there's, again, I always stress out, there's the technique there's the communication, there's the what works for the person you're with. Those are the stuff that are important. So I can't answer a question is length X, I don't know how many inches, big or small or whatever. And let me tell you the opposite of that. Hopefully this is going to help some men out there, maybe some women also. The equivalent that I see here as a woman, I think I can give you 3 examples. One, I'll use my example. Let's say that I, as a woman, have really bad periods, like painful, really, really painful. That has come to be understood nowadays as endometriosis or endometriosis, I don't know the pronunciation. Really tough stuff to go through. A lot of women have these pains that are brutal. And what would it be like for me to go to a guy who's an intimacy coach or a relationship coach and say, hey there, Coach Steve, I have really painful menstruation or periods. Can you help me? What do you think that guy would say? I'm sorry that you're going through that. I don't know how. Right? Right. He would also probably think, isn't it obvious that I'm not a woman? I don't have the experience of menstruation. What could I say here more than I'm sorry? Right? Okay. The second example, me as a woman, I would go to Coach Steve and say, hey, Coach Steve, I have really, really micro breasts. Could you help me? What could Coach Steve say? I'm really, really sorry that you're having this experience. And if anybody has offended you, I'm really, really sorry. But I'm not a plastic surgeon. I can't help you there. I don't know about bras too much or clothes. I'm not a fashion designer to help you work out that, with style. I don't know what to say. Right? Right. He would probably also think, though he's really nice and he would never say that, here's a woman that has some issues with her femininity in a way, and I'm a man. I can't help her with her feminine stuff, right? A woman could. Right? Right. Okay. So I talked about menstruation, I talked about breasts. Oh, the third example. Here I am again, Liana, the needy one, going to Coach Steve and asking him, hey, Coach Steve, I don't think I'm very feminine. Could you help me? Like, I don't know if I'm very, I don't know if I can impress guys, if I'm smooth enough, or if I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a kitten? Like, I don't know. Some women do this stuff. By the way, like, truth be told here, I'm not that. Like, if I were to identify with any woman, any animal in the animal kingdom, it wouldn't be a feline. It would be a wolf, a she-wolf. So this one actually would be, but I wouldn't even go like a wolf. Wouldn't even think, how do I become like a cat or like a tiger or like a lioness? No, I'm a she-wolf. I'm gonna embody my nature, period. But if I were to go to Coach Steve and ask him, hey, could you help me out with that? Coach Steve would be like, I'm really, really sorry that you're going through that. I think you're very beautiful as a woman, right? Because Coach Steve is really, really nice. So he would honor a woman there, although it's a woman with a wound around her femininity, apparently, if she wants to be something she's not, or if she's insecure about something. And he would probably do the wise and healthy thing and encourage this woman to go and work with other women, because other women embody femininity and they would know best. Unless, because there's also something here. I shared this in a video I did back in 2016 on animus and anima. And that one was about men that are very, very feminine, and they come they come to this life to understand femininity and womanhood from a different perspective. Not that they are women themselves, but they have a lot of feminine energy. There are these really, really elegant men. They are interested in women, not men. So they're heterosexual men, but they've got this really, it's a Romanian word that comes to mind, suave, suave. So they are these beautiful, elegant beings. By the way, I was never in a relationship with one. I don't think I'm the kind of woman that they seek, to be fair here or honest. I don't know. I mean, they never gravitated towards me, but I did see them and I did appreciate them from afar. Uh, so there are these men, they probably could, if Coach Steve were a woman, well, oh man, the mouth of the sinner, truth speaks. We have the saying in Romania. Okay. So maybe this guy, Coach Steve, if he was this kind of suave, he would probably have a thing or two to share with me, the wounded in femininity woman that seeks his help. But in most cases, Coach Steve is not this kind of a creature, so he couldn't help, you know? And in most cases, for women, it would be, please, the best advice would be go and work with a woman. She can help you with embodiment, and she can help you tap into your version of womanhood and bring it out in your own way. Best, right? Right. So this is the equivalent of me getting a few questions that are pertaining to masculinity, manhood, or a man's body. Like if a guy were to come to me and ask for my help for him to embody masculinity, I'd be like, gee, I don't know how. I don't think I'm qualified. Honestly, I could share with you what I think as a woman, how I see you, what makes me, like what fires me from within as a woman in relation to a man, sure, but your embodied masculinity and the troubleshooting with your own body, I can't help you there, sadly. So here's now, outside of coaching, the stuff that I can share. Maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe they will inspire you in any way. That's the best. I think for me, inspiration is very important, and I always seek it one way or another in the stuff that I read, the movies that I watch, sometimes the documentaries that I watch, the music that I listen to, the practices that I do. I always seek inspiration. I'm big on that. So yeah, and more importantly, I seek stuff that lightens up or starts my own or ignites my own inspiration. And I take that and I start to create practices, write in the fantasy book. That's a man, I am so snailing along with that book, but still, every day I try to seek inspiration for that project. So as a woman, yes, and I do seek inspiration also from men. So for me, it's very important that men inspire me. One guy that is really inspirational and aspirational for me, you all know him, pam pam pam, Keanu Reeves. Wow, this guy. I'm really sorry he never had kids, because I think that gene should be passed along in humanity. And it's, yes, I did like him back in the day. Now I look at him like sort of my older brother from a different mother that I haven't met yet. So I would definitely, like, my dad died. If there was somebody that would substitute my dad to walk me down the aisle, I think it would be Keanu Reeves. Sadly, he doesn't even know who I am, so why should he care? But so that's one guy. Another guy that inspired me recently was Novak Djokovic, the tennis player, GOAT, greatest of all times. Finally learned what that expression was. I thought it was something else referring to. Anyway, he said something in an interview which inspired me to do a series of practices for women. Okay, activating our womb, our magnetism in the womb. I did a few practices inspired by something that Novak Djokovic said. Imagine that. And the thing that he said was, in an interview, he was asked how he handles a very, what was the word? Unsupportive crowd. And he said, he took a pause and he said, when the crowd cheers Roger, I hear Novak. And then he said, I know it's simple, but that's what I do. It doesn't take much. I really appreciate men in their simplicity, but really powerful and strong simplicity. And that was Novak Djokovic. Another man that well, there is a man on the planet. I can share that with you. He's never going to know, sadly. There's a Chinese actor. He's of my age. I actually used him in this video, in the thumbnail here. This is him in a role. So I use him as inspiration to keep writing in my fantasy book. This is something completely out of my comfort zone, completely. And I started writing this for two reasons. One, when I was walking my wolf last year, I got this fragment of an image of a scene from the book that I'm writing. And I told myself, wow, this would be a great book. It took me 6 months to get around to writing it. And the second reason I'm writing this is because I got pissed off because my coaching book, did not sell. Although I put a lot of effort into it. I got some, not enough supportive reviews on Kindle, so it's not doing so great. Not as much as I wished it was, although there's a lot of knowledge there. And I put a lot of stories from my coaching practice. Really powerful book, like really powerful. And yet it flopped, I think that's the word. And I'm like, okay, if people read fantasy, I'm going to take all my knowledge and insert it into a fantastic story. I don't do that. I don't consider myself a writer. I'm a coach, an embodiment coach. What business do I have to do, writing a book? Well, my only business here is that I want to reach more people and send to them the beauty of the practice. That's why I'm writing this book. And it is so tough because there's a lot more than just putting practices and weaving a story. So I use this actor. I follow a lot of his stuff. I watch him. I look at him. He's not just beautiful, in my opinion. He's also the way he acts, his characters. I watch a few of his interviews. I really use, this guy is like, wow, no man on the planet has ever inspired me for so long to do something so difficult. And he doesn't even know. I don't want to tell you who he is, and that's it. All you get is that picture. That's it. So as a woman, I seek men that inspire me. And they inspire me. Why? Because look, one is a tennis player, the other one is an actor, Asian origin actor, and the other one is actually Chinese actor. Something with Asia there. These people are just, they don't even know I exist, but I use them. I draw fuel from the stuff that they do, how they do, and I go about and do things in my life, for my life. That is not something, and I don't look like, the coaching that I do here is not to pick up men. I don't even know if you find this useful or not. Please believe me that there's nothing more attractive to me as a woman here, not the coach, than a man who's really into his stuff, doing his stuff, reaching more people, and impacting them, hopefully in a constructive way. Like the stuff that Keanu Reeves does, and he's had his fair share of trouble, but he's healthy, really healthy. He did not go into all the shadow of Hollywood and all of that, though he could have. He's an icon, but he kept his soul pure. Pure. Novak Djokovic, the mentality, he does whatever, and he's not worried that it's stupid or embarrassing or simple, or he doesn't have that judgment. He just takes whatever in order to what? To follow his goal. That's inspirational. For me as a woman, that is inspirational. I wished, if there's anything that I could send here, I wished something in you could, especially for the guys in the United States who are going right now through a really, really tough, I don't know, from where I live, and just me, because maybe there are other Romanians who disagree with me. When I look at the United States, I see a war. It's the United States against the United States, or people in the United States against other people in the United States. This country is at war with itself. Nowhere do I see that. So, I mean, every country and every culture has their own tensions, and nowhere is it as big and as loud as I see it in the United States. And from where I live, with such a small channel, because compared to the numbers that you guys have in the United States, men, women, doesn't matter. Whenever you have an influencer there, wow, they got millions, millions of followers. It's not my case, obviously. But if there's anything that I can share here is, first of all, I hope that you take care of your health, because an unhealthy guy is never going to be attractive. At least my perspective is that one. I hope you do whatever it takes to keep your soul clean. Okay? I have immense amount of respect and appreciation for Keanu Reeves. That guy, with all the stuff that he went through, because everybody has pain, suffering, depression, all sorts of things. We all lose, we all have hardship in our lives. He kept his soul pure and clean. That's so worthy of appreciation. I hope you guys can do that also, no matter how old you are. This guy is like a kid no matter what. And I think most of us can do that. It's not that he's special or something. No. He just did it. I think he just kept his soul clean. And obviously, if anything from Novak Djokovic, physicality, like for instance, Novak Djokovic, he's not the big hunk, right? Right. You don't need to be that big, I don't know what. Because a lot of guys are pumping up their body with all sorts of stuff, making themselves bigger than maybe they need to. I think an agile man, fast, strong, and agile, is more important than a massive man. At least that's the way I see it. So anyway, taking care of your health and your physicality, so important. And I don't know who could inspire you to be more active throughout a month, a week, whatever. But I think that's also really, really attractive on a guy. Really attractive. And he can inspire, not necessarily because, for instance, with Novak Djokovic, I don't want to have anything to do intimately with that guy. But that doesn't mean he can't inspire me as a woman. And that doesn't mean if I were ever to meet him, I would go and shake his hand and say, you know what, you said this in an interview. It not only did I appreciate it as a woman also, but it also inspired me to bring something to my community of women. It's a small community, it's not as large as yours, but still, I took that and I made something, whatever I could. And I think that is so important, and I wanted you to know. That's the kind of stuff that I wouldn't be hitting on him. I would be showing my appreciation as a human being and also as a woman. You know? I think being able to generate that kind of thing, wow, that is so, and I wouldn't go there because I would be needy. Because I wouldn't. I think that's really beautiful to have that and to inspire in others, something like that. I don't know if these things can inspire you in any way. I really do not. Anything that I said here, I would love to know. This is not a series of videos. I'm not selling anything. This is just me showing up and say, here are the things that I get asked for help and I don't feel it's my place to help, the first part of the video. And here are the stuff that are important to me as a woman, okay, from a different part of the world. I'm not from the United States. I never even set foot in the United States, so I don't even know what the country is like. Will I ever? Who knows? I think it would be beautiful. I would love to travel. There are so many, like Yellowstone Park, and there are other wild nature, mountainside. Wow, I love the mountainside. So there are many beautiful places that I would go to visit in the United States. I don't know what the culture is like. I don't know if the stuff that I shared here is valuable or not for you. I hope it is. Drop me a comment to let me know if it did. And in the next videos, I'll just come back with my topic, usual stuff, okay, regular stuff. So I wish you a beautiful day, guys, especially the guys in the United States and all the other guys that are watching this channel. I hope that you have inspiration for your lives. to step up, whatever that means for you, you know, in whatever way you want to, and that you get more hot blood to do stuff, to move, to build beautiful things around you. I'll see you next time. Bye.